Hi breathers, and welcome to this death meditation. In this death meditation, you'll be using breathing techniques, visualization, and identity processing to become more accustomed, acquainted, and accepting of your own mortality, as well as the mortality of your loved ones. Many people spend their lives in fear of the fact that they're going to take a last breath and that they're going to experience this final moment of mortality. And because of that, many people live in fear, anxiety, regret, denial, rather than being able to live their life with this joy and this deeper appreciation of every single breath that they take. So the point of this meditation is so that you can become more aware, more appreciative, and live a more joyful life. I'm going to ask that you stay seated for this entire meditation, but it's important that if your body distracts you away from the meditation itself, that you allow your body to get into a position that's going to suit you for comfort the most, so you can focus on the meditation at hand. So for that reason, I'm also going to ask that you right now set your space up so not only that you can find a comfortable seat, but also that you could find a laying down position if you need to move into that throughout the meditation. So go ahead, pause the video now and get your space set up. One of the approaches we'll be using in this death meditation is pranayama. Pranayama is the science, the art, and the philosophy of different breathing techniques. And there are many purposes for why people practice pranayama, but the point of pranayama is twofold. First, it's so that we can extend our life and have the longest, most abundant health as possible. And the second point is to prepare for our last breath, that final moment of mortality. Your breath is the very first thing you meet when you come into existence, and it's the very last thing you touch and do as you leave this world or this body of consciousness. Everything in between, every thought, every emotion, every experience you've ever had, your breath has been with you, breathing a particular breath pattern, whether you're surprised, relieved, laughing, crying, full. All of these breathing techniques are communicating the life, the experience, and the situation in which you're experiencing. So preparing to meet your final breath is something that hopefully will not only allow you to die with less regret, less fear, and less denial, but allow you to live with more appreciation, more acceptance, and more joy. So let's get started. Begin to find your comfortable seat. The idea is that you want the spine nice and upright, the shoulders relaxed, and you don't really need to see anything, so I'm going to ask that if you're comfortable with it, just allow your eyes to close. Once you have that comfortable seat and the eyes are closed, take a moment just to notice the light in the room that's on the back of the eyelids. So keeping the eyes closed, but how can you sense the light? Is there a direction of light coming in? Is there any perceivable light moving through the backs of the eyelids? And as you start to allow yourself to acknowledge that, begin to perceive and become more aware of your breathing pattern. Breathe a little slower, but a little fuller. And as you exhale, exhale a little longer and a little more empty. If you have Ujjayi pranayama in your practice, that Darth Vader ocean sound of breath, use that as well to create more audibility and more control to your breathing pattern. If you don't have that pranayama in your practice, do not worry about it. Just continue to lengthen the breath and extend the breath. A few moments like this. Wherever you are in your breathing pattern, pause your breath. So hold it, no air in, no air out. Take a swallow. Purse your lips, blow all the breath out of your lungs. Flare your nostrils, breathe in fully. Once you think you're full, take an extra sniff, take an extra sip, hold that breath in the lungs, but soften the shoulders down the back, purse the lips, blow the breath out. Once you're empty, flare the nostrils, breathe in fully. Purse the lips, blow it out. Keep this breathing technique going at your pace, breathing in fully through the nose. Breathing out fully from pursed lips. You'll be using this breathing technique the entire time, so keep it going. But the next time you breathe in, I want you to pull in the first thing that you think of your identity. For most people, it's probably your name. Breathing in your name and using the pursed lips exhale to disintegrate, delete, get rid of that piece of your identity. We're moving into some identity deprocessing. So trying to reduce the stickiness of the attachment that we have and reduce the association of these identifying factors so that you can peel away the layers, peel away the parts of you that keep you so gripping and so attached to this piece of identity or this part of your existence. And do this with each and every part of yourself. So for me, it usually starts with my name. And then it might go into my age. It might go into what I do for a living. It can start to go into how I look. It can start to go into where I live. And it can start to go into the things I associate with. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's a home, maybe it's a vehicle, maybe it's old photographs or particular possessions. Every time you breathe in, you're pulling up this piece of identity into your mind's eye. And every time you breathe out, you're blowing that piece of identity out of your psyche, out of your attachments, and just really peeling away that association of that piece and that part of yourself. Keep it going. I am not my name. I am not my job. I am not my age. I am not my gender. I am not my looks. I am not my education. Keep peeling back the things that you identify with the most. Use the breath. I am not my beliefs. I am not my politics. I am not my memories. I am not my experiences. I am not my situation. Keep this going, and if you haven't already started, start to peel back the associations and the identifying factors of the relationships that you have. I am not a daughter. I am not a son. I am not a mother. I am not a father. Really allowing those attachments to peel away from your psyche and detach from that identifying factor. I'm not a brother, I'm not a sister, I'm not a best friend, I'm not an old friend, I'm not a new friend, I'm not a grandparent or an uncle or an aunt or a cousin or a niece or a nephew. I'm not a business partner, I'm not a dog parent or a cat parent or a fish parent or a bird parent. I'm not a plant owner. I'm not responsible for these things to stay alive. Peel back these identities, peel back these associations, peel back these relationships, peel back those responsibilities. Keep using the breath. Notice that each time you peel back one layer, another one comes to the surface. Peeling back that layer, breathing out that part of your identity, and continuing to notice what's left over. For most people, once they've peeled back their own identifying factors, peeled back the relationships that they associate with, peeled back all of those attachments to things and people and places, they start to be left with just the identifying factor of being in a human body. So I want you to start to peel that back as well. Allow your hair to disintegrate and blow away. Allow your limbs to begin to leave you, the skin to begin to melt away, the color of the skin, the color of your eyes. Keep allowing this to leave you as you now start to get to the fascia, the muscles, the capillaries, the arteries, the veins, the lymphatic system, all of your organs, everything that makes you up as a living organism, starting to disintegrate, starting to melt away, starting to be peeled off of your identity at the core. Let the bones begin to disintegrate. And notice what's left over. What are you after you have no name, no relationships, no body? Many people feel like they're left with a ball or a sphere of light. Some people can feel that they are this whole of static, of microorganism, or of atoms and collection of vibrating energy of electrons or quarks. Some people feel that it's just an ether of nothingness and everything. Notice what for you are you left with after everything has been peeled away to its most basic principle essence. Begin to even dissociate and peel away the things that are around you, the floor, the room, the furniture, getting rid of the trees, the clouds, the animals, all the water drying up, all the mountains disintegrating. Continue to scope out and allow the earth itself to begin to fall apart and break up. The rest of the planets, the sun to explode into little itty bitty pieces. The universe itself and every galaxy in it just beginning to fade away into nothingness, into this static of everything being the same. Notice what's left when nothing exists and nothing is solid and nothing is identified as a particular piece or part or component. Keep breathing. One day the earth will die, the sun will die, your galaxy, the Milky Way, will die, the universe will go into entropy and everything will disintegrate. How do you feel? What is it like occupying this space, this type of existence or non-existence? Moving into that space, of every single person, every single planet, every single piece of life that has ever lived and died before you, occupying that state. You were there before you took your first breath. You were in that area, that existence of non-existence, of non-identity, of non-place or particular piece of matter. What is it like to be back there? Now that you've peeled away the parts and pieces of everything that makes you, you, Earth, the planet, and the existence of the universe itself, what is it that you miss the most? What is it that you wish you could see or smell or feel or taste or hear or touch? Start to bring that into your mind's eye, and we're going to begin to rebuild from nothingness to the most potent pieces of what living is about. Blow all the breath out one final time, clear everything away, and breathe in what you want to feel again the most. Place your tongue behind your front two teeth and ventilate that into existence in your mind's eye. And this is the breathing technique you'll use to sow your appreciation back into existence and to rebuild what it is that you identify with and you appreciate the most. Use the in-breath, pull it into your mind's eye, pull it into existence. Use that hissing, whistling ventilation to sow it back into matter, to sow it back into what you want to see life be about and life occupy. Keep it going piece by piece, part by best part, using that breath. Bringing back the people you love the most, the places you love the most, the parts of you you love the most. Your favorite smells, your favorite sights, your favorite sensations. The songs that make you move, that make you feel. Your favorite place on earth, your favorite laugh, your favorite piece of love, your favorite food. Bring all of this back to life. Piece by piece, part by part, noticing what it is to live, what it is to find joy in. What is that meaning you make out of life and the things that you appreciate about it the most? few more rounds like this, sewing back into your psyche your favorite memories, sewing back into existence your favorite parts about living, about life, about breathing, your favorite parts about your breath, about your thoughts, about who you are in this life, in this world, in this body. One more cycle of breath. Again, bringing back that first thing, revisiting that first most potent piece of existence, of living, of life that you appreciate the most, that you wanted to touch and feel and see and smell and hear the most. Use the breath. Find a little cleanse. And take a few natural breaths in and out from the nose as you acknowledge this journey that you've been through. Non-existence and living. Non-identity and associating with what you appreciate and love the most, what brings you the most joy. And now that you've gone through that death and dying of all of your attachments and brought in new perspective of what they really mean to you, come back to this moment in this body. Notice exactly where you are right now, the life that you've lived, the hopes and the dreams that you have, the people in your life. And we're going to sit with a deathbed of the person you love the most. And maybe this person has already experienced their death, or maybe it has yet to come. But I want you to move into that person's last breath, their final moment of living, where they meet their own mortality and leave their body and the breath leaves them. Find your breath, deep breath in, strong cleanse out, and use the breath. Breathe in through the nose. See this person in their final moments and blow the breath out. And allow this blowing breath out to be a sense of comfort, to be a sense of acceptance, to be a sense of assisting them in that last breath that they are taking, in this last moment that they are moving through. Use the breath, stay with them. See the life leaving them. See that love leaving them. All of that reciprocation of love that you've been able to give and receive, leaving their body, leaving their existence in physical, material, matter form. Keep blowing it out. Can you use this breath to support them in this last moment, in this transition? Now take a moment and switch the roles. You are now the person on the deathbed. You are now the person taking your last breath, and that person is with you. Use that breath to allow them to help you, to support you in that last moment, breathing in through the nose, filling up that life, blowing it out and blowing it away and passing. They are now holding you. They are now supporting you. Breathe. You are the one now leaving them behind instead of them leaving you. One more breath. Now begin to transition to someone else, another person that you will see on their deathbed, taking their final breath, that last moment of life, supporting them and being there with them, holding them, whether it's their whole body or their head or their hand, or just hovering into that presence with them, breathing in and blowing out. Stay with them, stay with your breath. Holding not just their physical body, but can you hold all of that love that they've ever given to you, all of that love that you've ever poured into them, allowing yourself to hold that presence of love, of relationship, of connection with the breath. And now switching roles, moving yourself into the deathbed and moving them as the supporter, the one who's vibrant and healthy and living and breathing, and holding that characteristic of support, of the facilitator of your transition, of the person who's holding presence, who's holding you, who's supporting you as you take your last breaths. Breathing in, blowing out, allowing the life to leave you. Allowing the body to shut down, allowing the brain to turn off. They're there with you, holding that space, holding room for that transition. Occupying and sharing your final moment. Last 2 breaths here. Deep breath in, fill up. Extra sniff, extra sit. Hold your breath in. Strong blow out. Hold your lungs empty for as long as you can. No life is coming back in. Keep the breath out of your body. And as you do that, start to re-arrive to this moment here and now, where you are, who you are, where you're at, how you've been. And we're going to acknowledge that you will meet your last moment. You will meet your final breath. And we're going to accelerate that movement. We're going to speed up time. And we're going to arrive there quicker. Wherever you are, blow another quick puff of breath out. Quick sniff in. Quick blow out. Blow out. Blow out. Blow out. These are called fire cleanses. And I want you to think of every exhale, every blow, as a step, as a march to your final moment. speeding up the days, speeding up the weeks, speeding up the years. Keep this pace, keep this breath. You are fast forwarding all the breaths that you have left to live, every heartbeat that you have left to move through your body, every moment that you have left in this existence, on this planet, with this consciousness. You are speeding it up, moving forward to your last breath, to your final moment of consciousness and living in life and breathing, to your moment of mortality. Keep it going. Moving past all your hopes, moving past all your dreams, moving past all your visions of legacy, everything that you wanted to accomplish, everything that you wanted to leave behind. You've been there, you've done that, you're moving past that, and you're getting so close to that very final moment, your last breath. Can you speed it up? And you're arriving there in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, blow all the breath out. That is your last breath. Hold your lungs empty as long as you can. You've arrived to your death. You've arrived to your last moment. And when you can no longer stay here because it is not yet your time, give yourself permission to breathe the life back into your body, back into your lungs. And we're moving into intermittent breath holds. You're going to hold that life in your body, in your lungs at the top of the inhale for as long as you can, and allow that life to really absorb and seep into every single lung cell, into every single piece of your blood, into every single cell of your body, allowing that oxygen to represent not just life and living, but appreciation and joy of existence itself. And when you hold at the top for as long as you can, remember that your breath, your life, your consciousness, every relationship, every connection, the earth itself is a visitor. And when it's ready to leave, you have to allow it to go. You'll blow the breath out, and you'll hold your breath out for as long as you can. And when you're in this empty exhale, this suspension, holding the life out of your body, out of your lungs, remember that it's okay for loss, for grief, for death. That makes room for when you're ready, the inhale to refill the lungs, to recirculate through the body, for the oxygen and the life and the breath and the prana to come back in, and holding at the top in appreciation. Keep this going at your pace. You are holding your breath in for as long as you can at the top of every in-breath, and you're holding your breath out for as long as you can at the bottom of every out-breath. Just a few more rounds of these intermittent breath holds. Noticing what acceptance you can find in the suspension with empty lungs, and noticing what appreciation you can find at the retention of full lungs. Wherever you are, take a swallow. Blow out any leftover breath. Quick and big breath in. Strong cleanse out. Deep breath in. Easy ventilation. And gentle cleanse at the bottom. Quick sniff in. Quick sniff in. Quick sniff in. Last one. Can you feel a little more at the lips? Hold, take a swallow. And release a heavy sigh. Thank you so much for breathing along in this death meditation. I hope it allows you to find more acceptance and more appreciation of every single breath that you breathe. I hope that when you meet your final breath or the last breath of your loved ones, that you are more prepared and able to meet that moment with a sense of peace and maybe even pleasure. Thank you again for breathing along. I'm Danny May, and I sincerely hope to breathe with you more soon. Bye.